Hello, everybody. My name is Heather Boffman. I'm a training specialist here at RingCentral, and I'll be guiding you through your end user onboarding training today. Since it's pretty manageable on the participant side, there's only 4 total. I won't unmute everybody, so just feel free to holler out questions as they come, or if somebody is manning a keyboard within that conference room, feel free to chat over questions. Justin, I see you joined separately, so if you have any questions, feel free at any point to utilize that chat feature as well. I'll be monitoring that. Oh, and Eric as well, I see you just joined. So feel free to holler those over. I'll provide some links through that chat today as well. So this should be adjusted since you all have updated or activated your RingCentral extensions. We'll talk about that. But I'll show you a tool we use to call from anywhere. As Eric already touched on, that's our RingCentral phone application. We'll dive into that a little bit deeper. And then we'll talk about messaging as well. We'll talk about sending text messages and faxing. So this will be just an overview type of a training, but not to worry. We can find additional information at ringcentral.com/university. So for those that haven't activated your RingCentral extension, this part is for you. Those that have, just sit tight for a few more moments. So it sounds like the emails went out today, correct, Eric, if I heard correctly?
Last night.
They went out last week?
Last night.
Last night, I'm sorry. So last night you should have all received an email from support@ringcentral.com. Double check that it didn't end up in your spam or junk folder. Sometimes they go there. But you'll want to address this email within 48 hours because it will expire after that time frame. But in that email, it'll have your name and your company's name, as well as some information to you. And I think I overheard that these were going to be temporary numbers until the complete porting process, also known as transferring process, was done. So not to worry if those don't show your correct information, it'll get there soon. But you'll direct your attention to that Setup Account button. From there, we ask that you create a password and a 6 to 10-digit PIN number. Since that's a little bit longer than normal, I suggest either using a childhood phone number or doubling up on the PIN you currently use. So for example, 1234 1234. Last but not least, you'll need to create a security question and answer and hit continue. From there, we ask that you go in under your user information section, make sure we have your name spelled correctly and have you listed in the correct time zone, but also make sure that we have the correct E911 address. So God forbid there's an emergency, dispatch knows where to send them to you. You can access your call forwarding from here, so how you want your devices to ring, and you could update your voicemail from here. You don't have to do these last two at this stage. I'll show you where we can take it offline. But just make a note that RingCentral will set you up with a default voicemail from the beginning. And then you can elect Finish Setup. Once you've completed that, you'll have access to all of our applications, including our service portal. And your company will use your email and password as credentials. So pretty straightforward and basic, but were there any questions on that process?
Is there anybody still working with it?
I can't sit.
Okay. No
In
problem.
there, but
All right. I hear some conversation. I'm hoping those aren't questions. If they are, would you mind going a little closer to the microphone so I could hear?
no, we're good because go ahead and continue.
Perfect, thank you. Right, well, let's talk about calling from anywhere, that first application. It's going to look like this. So it's blue and orange, Broncos colors. Sorry, I'm from Denver, so try to sneak that into anywhere I can. But this one has a blue phone in the center. There are a couple of different applications out there, as Eric touched on, so just want to make sure you're going to be utilizing the correct one. Here's a little preview once you get into it. But within this application, you can add personal contacts and view the availability of your colleagues. You can also send and receive text messages. And it's going to house your audio conferencing bridge. So I'm going to pause here and pull up mine. Let me move these others out of the way. It's this one here in the center of the screen. And it looks like this. One thing you might note is it resembles that of a smartphone, but it's also a very user-friendly application. So if you're ever lost or don't know what something means, you could just simply hover your mouse over an icon and it'll tell you what that is. Let's start up top. Up top here, once that porting process is completed, that transfer process of all your phone numbers, this will show your individual phone number. But an added bonus, this phone number will also act as your fax number. So a 2-for-1 special. If you click into here on that phone number, it'll take you to your profile where you could update a status to let your colleagues know what you're doing. You could also update your availability. Do Not Disturb will send all of your callers directly to voicemail. And Invisible is just that. It'll keep everybody guessing. So a lot of times I use this. I'm in grad school, so I stay after work to do my homework. I'll set myself to invisible so nobody knows what I'm doing. So this little envelope icon towards the top, this is going to be all things messaging for you all. There it goes. So it'll organize all of your messages into one list, but maybe you just want to listen to your voicemail from this application. You could switch over to the voice tab, click on that line item to play the voicemail, or maybe you need to call or text them back. Can easily do that from here. Similar options are available under fax. This is where you can see your inbound and outbound faxes. Click on the line item to view or save it. You can even send it along, so maybe Eric needs to see this too. And similar with texting. Click into that conversation. Looks very, very similar to that of an iPhone, but just one way you could search for that specific line item or write them back. Continuing our journey across the top, this little clock icon is your call log. If you click into here, it'll have all of your inbound, outbound, and missed calls, but we have some filters available to you. You could call them back by just clicking on this line. Oops. Just double click on that line and it'll go. Started ringing my cell phone and it was not on silent. Apologies. Do you guys have the need to record calls?
Sometimes.
I think that was a sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll show you where we could start that recording once we're on an active call, but just know your recorded calls will be housed under that call log too, under that clock icon. So you could listen to it again or call them back. This little profile icon is your contact list. RingCentral will upload your company directory into here for you. But if you work with an outside vendor frequently or an important contact externally, maybe you want to add a spouse or a child, you could do so here. You would just select this plus sign, then enter all the information needed. This desktop icon, if you hover your mouse over it, it shows as HUD. This stands for Heads Up Display. So if you click into this, think of this like your speed dials. This allows you to save up to 100 of your closest colleagues into here. It's just a nice way to organize and see what they're doing. So if you come into here and you might need to place a call to somebody in your department, maybe you could add all of your department contacts here. Nat isn't available, but Alex or Santiago or Brad could be available for a call. We could easily call or text them back from here too. This little phone icon is our dial pad. With RingCentral, there is no need to dial 9 or 1 for placing an outbound call. Just simply enter that 10-digit dialing number, or you could dial the person's extension. Or if you're like me and just do not memorize numbers anymore, you could just type in their name. Here's another place we could see our colleagues' availability. So Rosa is available for this call. Let's hop on. So So once we're on this active call, you can see there's lots of options available to us. We could place ourselves on mute or hold. Here's where we would also record that call. There is no way to secretly or privately record the call. All parties on the line will be notified as soon as you hit that middle button. Just be forewarned. So we could also transfer that caller along. Maybe Rose needs to speak with Eric. We could come in here and we could warm transfer, or this is a consultative transfer. We're going to ask Eric first to see if he's available and then connect him that way. Whereas a blind transfer, we're not going to ask, we're just going to send Rose straight on through. And if Eric's out of the office that day, we could send Rose to his voicemail. So again, that's just all available under the transfers button. This plus sign, think of this like your glorified three-way calling, except it allows you to have up to 8 participants on the line with you. Now that does include yourself, so technically 7 others, but it's a nice and easy way to gather other individuals into the conversation. Just click the plus sign, dial the name, number, or extension, and then conference them in using that green button. This flip icon is usually the fan favorite, so I hope it continues. This allows you to take the call on the go on any device. So for example, I started this call from my desktop. Rose and I are working on a presentation. We still have some things to talk about. It's the end of the day and I need to get going to pick my kid up from daycare. You know, they charge extra if you're late. So you come in here and select flip. I could come in and type my cell phone number. Hit flip. This would take the call from my desktop and ring my mobile phone, allowing me to take the call on the go. So that's a nice feature to keep the conversation going. Pause here, see if there's any questions so far.
I've got a question about that last thing, and this may be a question for Eric. Will we be able to do that, like we wanted to do, if we're on a call or computer, or guys, we want to send it to a conference with Polycom, let's say that's what Polycom, yeah.
You mind showing that last part one more time?
Yeah, that feature was a big hit, Heather.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time getting to this.
We don't have any people.
Yeah, we have to be on the. Heather, there's a request for you to repeat that flip function.
Yeah, absolutely. So this flip functionality allows you to take the call on the go with you. So I answered the call from my desktop here, but I need to go. Maybe I need to catch my Uber to the airport. I'm on my way to Mexico. Have a couple things to finish up first. Could come in here and hit flip. I could type in my cell phone number. And as soon as I hit flip, this will ring my cell phone, allowing me to continue the conversation just on the go from my cell phone. So it'll stop the call from my desktop, but it'll continue on my mobile device.
I have a question. If you're already using the mobile app for the call, do you have to do the split? Or
Yeah, if you're using, and Heather, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the question was, if you're already using the mobile app on your smartphone, do you have to do the flip?
The answer is no. And I can show if you'd like, I can show what that would look like when we jump to the mobile section. There's just a line that pops and you just tap the line from within the app and it'll transfer the call to your mobile. So let me parking lot that so I make sure to show that. Great question. Go ahead and hang up.
If you're recording the call and you do the flip function, will it continue recording?
Yes, it should. It should maintain all functionality of how you have it here while you hit that flip feature. Great questions. Go ahead and hang up on Rose. Keep them coming. keep them coming at me, but I'll show you now what it looks like when a call is coming into your account. You'll have this separate pop-up window that'll have the caller ID information. You could send that caller to voicemail or answer. My favorite is this reply option. Hey, could you call me back in 45 minutes, how about? And hit send. As soon as you hit send, a voice is going to come on the line and state that message to the caller and then disconnect. It's just a nice way to communicate. Hopefully that was a fan favorite. I heard some laughing, so I'm just trying to read the room.
That's like the sound. If you can, have a Muppet, the message saying, call me back in 45 minutes.
At this time, you can update it. It sounds similar to like Siri or Alexa. I personally have my Australian guy on my Siri, so I'd like that to come up, but in good time, I've requested it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Right?
You will not have a physical ringing phone on your desk. You will have an application on your laptop that will ring. Or if you have a smartphone, you can download the application on your smartphone and it will physically ring. Yeah, and then on the application on your desktop, you can set up different types of notification functions so that it automatically pops up the window, it make an audible sound, and see different alerts. You can also set it up so that it will start just to notify you on your desktop application, and then if for whatever reason you don't pick it up on your desktop application, by default, we've also allowed it to say if you have a mobile app, then start ringing that mobile app on your phone. So pick up a couple of you can set up a call forward. So actually, this is, and Heather will probably get to this, so I'll just touch on this real quick. Is that you can set up your account to ring a series of numbers that can be all different types of devices in sequential order, or you can set it up so it could ring 10 different numbers all at the same time.
Absolutely. I caught the end of that one. Sounds like call forwarding and setting up those how you want to be reached when a new call comes in.
That's right.
Perfect. We can show that in just a moment. I just want to talk about these 3 applications at the bottom, and then we'll jump into that online account and then the mobile device. Does that sound like a plan?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. So this chat bubble at the very bottom left, this allows you to send or create a new text message from the application. So you'll send new texts here, but you'll review them under the envelope. So you just click into there, type in that name or number, and send away. But this middle icon, I think of it as a lunch table, although my last training I had called it a fidget spinner, or I can't think of the name of it, but that it looks like that. Let's stick with lunch table, a table and 3 chairs. This is your audio conferencing bridge. So if you click into there, everyone will have their own host access code, as well as your own participant access code, and you can invite up to 1,000 of your closest friends in on the call with you. So it's just a nice way to communicate with a large group of people. So again, that's the lunch table. And this piece of paper icon, this is how you can send a fax from the application. So you'll send or compose down here, but you'll review up here. Click on the piece of paper, type in the name, send it to just in case here. We have some cover pages that are pre-designed for you, but you could upload one your company uses if needed. Feeling kind of jazzy today? We'll stick with that one. Type in the note and then simply drag and drop into here or attach using the paperclip. You can send 20 megabytes or roughly 200 pages. So you can send pretty big documents this way. So let's talk about that call forwarding now. That's done in our online portal. I'll send you a link to it, whether you want to join from maybe your Google browser or Internet Explorer, whichever is fine. But there's also a little link in here on our phone application. If you come into this cogwheel and go to General and click My Extension Settings. Either one will get you to the right place, but I did place a link in that chat if Eric or Justin want to grab it and distribute it to the group. So once you get into your online portal, you can check your voicemails or see your faxes you've sent or received under messages. You can see your call log or your company directory. Towards the top, though, I hope these icons look familiar. Here's our lunch table icon. Again, that's our audio conferencing bridge, so we could have up to how many participants on the line? That's right, 1,000. Or we could place a call out from this online account and even send a fax. So just lots of different places to accomplish the same thing. But let's talk about that call handling and forwarding, so how we want our devices to ring. If we come in here under the Settings tab, under Call Handling and Forwarding, this is how we do that. Let me talk through how mine is set up.
Heather, can you just wait 1 second?
Sure.
Is everybody here? So she just switched to 2 different platforms. One was the app itself that has the phone icon, and where she is right now is on the website, which is service.ringcentral.com, and log in there. So this is the app, the phone app. The screen back behind is on the website. So she went to Chrome or Safari and then went to service.ringcentral.com and then signed in directly with that account. If you can, please either follow along here or log into a website and then look at your settings.
Yeah, I think you said it.
So let's for now, just to review, let's if you can't get to service.ringcentral.com, great. Heather, if you could actually pull up the app, the desktop app. They can use on the screen. I'll use a little try. If you can click there, and then that will link to your settings.
Yeah, so if you go down to that little wheel at the very bottom of the application and make sure you're under General, there's a tab or a link there that will have My Extension Settings. Hopefully, it should just automatically log you in if you click from within the phone application.
Okay, I think we're Heather, we're ready to continue moving forward.
All right, perfect. No, I like that everybody's following along. That gives me good reference points to talk about, and then they could be curious and click around as we continue. Good idea. Oh, so question came through the chat. Are we going to be able to host conference calls through RingCentral? Absolutely, yes. So that audio conference phone number you would pass out to participants, you could send it internal or external. Great question, Justin. So make sure at the top here, we're under settings. And then from there, find the second to bottom, the call handling and forwarding. Just gonna scroll down a little bit, make it more centered on the screen. So first and foremost, do you want your devices to ring sequentially, so all together, or simultaneously, so everything rings together? I do mine sequentially. And Eric, there was a question that came through the chat. Is Zoom going away?
Good question. It may. RingCentral meetings actually white labels Zoom's application, so the use, function, features are exactly the same. We're currently working with RingCentral just to confirm pricing options. If we transfer over, it has the potential to be much more ideal for us because then it's just integrated with everything.
Perfect. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So back into the portal. Either have your devices ring sequentially, one after the other, or simultaneously all together. And then first and foremost will be your applications. They'll always be listed first. You can't change that. So when a call comes into my line, it's going to ring my applications for 3 rings. If I don't answer here, then I have a desk phone that rings for 4 rings. And if I don't answer there, then my voicemail takes the call. Now, maybe while you're still getting used to the system and comfortable, you could adjust and select different ring options. So maybe 7 or 8 rings until you're comfortable. But usually 3 or 4 rings is standard. You can turn off whichever line item you need. Maybe you're out of the office, you don't want anything to ring, you could turn it that way. If you want to forward your calls on, maybe you're working from home that day, come to that home line, type in your home phone number, and then toggle the switch on. So now that device is in the call flow. So it'll ring your desktop and mobile apps first. If you don't answer there, then your home phone will ring. So just a couple of ways to determine how you want to be notified. So again, that's under call handling and forwarding. Just one last thing to touch about on this online portal is under messages, right below that call handling and forwarding section. This is where you can update your voicemail greeting. So RingCentral did set you all up with a default from the beginning. Maybe you want to know what that says or record something with your job title or your company name. Come in here under edit. There's your default. Short and sweet, but it gets the job done. Record something new from that top drop down. Select custom. And here you could have the system call you, maybe on your cell phone. Maybe you're on your way to Mexico and forgot to update your voicemail, letting your colleagues know. You could do it there. Or record using a computer microphone. Or you could upload one as a WAV or MP3 file. Now, is anybody interested in having their voicemails sent to them as an email?
Yeah.
Woohoo! I was hoping I'd get some yeses. So again, it's still from the settings tab, but you'll come over to this kind of grayish column on the left and select notifications, and then messaging notifications. Oops. And here's how you can tell the system how you want to be notified when something new occurs. So you could just
Stop here, Heather, hold on a second. We have by default enabled, automatic email notifications for voicemail, fax, and I think a couple other things, and included the attachment by default for all user settings.
Oh,
This is
beautiful.
probably where you could go to opt out of those, items if you so choose, but I'm telling you, once you start getting voicemail in your email, you'll probably have to strongly recommend.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Sounds like you got that set up on the admin side of things. So wonderful. But just know you could come in here and make some changes. If something were to happen, you could update how you want to be notified. Okay. Questions on this online account?
just whether confirmation that the fax went through. So the question was, what's the fax transmission notification, and it's a confirmation that your fax was received by you.
Yes. Then a question came through the chat as well. Is there the ability to get the voicemails transcribed? There is. Now, Eric stopped me if this was set up on the admin side of things. But if we come back to this grayish column and select your extension at the very top, and then come back down to messages where we went and changed our voicemail greeting. But under that little caret, there's some tabs. Find your way to that settings tab. And just make sure this switch is turned on. And that will transcribe those voicemails to the best of its ability.
Quick pause, Heather. If you see when you go to your notifications, for any of your notifications, and it's by email, and there's an X at the end of it, go through and delete that. That's something that the project manager for Ring did while we were prepping for deployment, so that we wouldn't be sending off dozens of false positive notifications. Where is that? If you see an X. So go, Heather, click along notifications, then messaging notifications. And then switch it from basic settings to advanced. Heather, you can hear me? Yep.
Yes, I can.
And then you don't have it as an option, but then in our options, so yeah, then customize notifications. And then if you see under the email notifications here, it has an X, then delete that. You'll also see that these are the options that should be on by default, or the include attachment email, so that should be checked by default. But this will have to be updated and then saved. Yeah, Heather, if you can go back to the overview page.
To the
that question, so I'll do that one more time.
on this overview page?
Yes. So, or to go to the other page where.
Sorry, under the settings tab? Sure.
Yeah, under settings, then message, or excuse me, notifications. Okay, you can do that too. But go to notifications, Heather.
Okay.
Thank you. Drop down, change it from basic settings to advanced settings. If you can click that, Heather.
Sorry.
No problem. And then you should see customized notifications. Click that. And then these are where you add or subtract the attachment to the notification. And then also just make sure that your email address in this doesn't have an X on the end. If it does, just delete the trailing X and then save by the done. You can uncheck the check mark, but I strongly encourage to include it because it's more useful. All right, we're ready, Heather.
No worries. Thank you for stepping in there. I appreciate that. If I can make just one suggestion on this online account is just go in and be curious. See what all it has to offer. Know there's multiple places you could check your voicemail or see your faxes. Under that messages tab is where you could also find your recorded calls if you record one. So that would be my just one little takeaway here is just be curious, look around. So we have just a handful of minutes left, so I'd like to spend the next few moments sharing what the mobile application looks like. So bear with me here while I get mine up and running.
Questions?
Sure.
In the meantime? Okay, I'll talk a little bit about the transition period that we're in right now and what the timeline looks like right after we're done with the training. It should only be just a few more minutes to wrap up, so appreciate it.
All right. So our apps are pairable with Android and iPhones. Just go to the applicable store, whether that's the App Store or the Google Play. And we're going to just talk about that app on the left, the RC Phone. If you come into here, you'll notice your menu is at the very bottom of the application. But at the top in that blue bar, is how you can filter. So maybe you just want to see all of your text messages or your voicemails. You can check your voicemail from within here. Just click on that line item. You could reply back to them or delete it. Transcribes it to the best of its abilities in here as well. Our call log is next. It's that clock icon still. You can see all of our inbound, outbound, and missed, but we could view our missed calls as well up top. Your contact list is there, and you can filter however you might need. And then your keypad. Up top, under that little profile icon towards the top left, it's your profile where you could update your status again or select your availability. Remember, Do Not Disturb sends all calls directly to voicemail. You can update your notifications on this application on your mobile. And if you select that extension settings, this will show you just a condensed version of the online portal we just looked at. So just a couple of ways to get to the same information. But now I want to demonstrate what a call will look like if we need to swap it from our desktop to our mobile device. Bear with me while I place a call here. All right, so hopefully that helped. Nope. Got to get my right mutes there. So we could take the call and see at the very top where like the clock is and my power. See how it's kind of a yellow bar? If I click here, okay, I'll take this call on the go with me. And now I'm taking that call from my mobile device. The one thing to be alerted of here, oops, sorry, getting an echo, is just that switch to carrier. This allows you to maybe use your minutes instead of your data. Other than that, the options are the same. So it's easy to flip it that way if you have the mobile device downloaded to your phone. So some nice features available there. I just want to let everybody know that we do have a support site in case you have any questions after today's training ends, where there's an advanced search feature where you could find out more about that call flip option. Just type in a keyword or phrase. But under that RingCentral University tab, you can find and join webinars to join for free or watch some pre-recorded ones. Of course, mine's not going to load. Bear with me. Oops. Under that RingCentral University tab, we do have webinars you can join for free or watch some pre-recorded ones. There's also some training videos out there that you could watch, and additional training content can be found there as well. So I'll send that through the group chat. It's a good one to save and hang on to. And last but not least, I'm just going to send a quick training survey. If you have another minute or two in your day, I would highly appreciate your feedback. And I'll just open up the last couple minutes to any questions or demonstrations you'd like to see again.
For the sake of time, I think I'll be more than glad to help and support with any answer questions that you have. And I also just had a few more things just to walk through. Heather, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you all. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the day, everyone.